This is bigger than us, and we shouldn't argue amongst ourselves. But I'm saying I have to go pull that sword out the stone. You either believe me or I'm gonna show you. I'm either gonna show you faces this way, I'm gonna show you faces this way. But you're gonna see it. Don't fucking clap. You guys are gonna get me in the position I'm gonna quit. Can't get it. No, it's not a fucking joke. In Virgil's name, in my mama name, I'm telling you what it is. This is Sparta.
Well, if you haven't been on Instagram for the past few days, and if you haven't been keeping up with a lot of the rap culture, a lot of the hip hop culture, then you haven't seen what Kanye West has been saying about pretty much everyone and everybody. Another classic Ye rant has been upon us for the last few days, and we're going to talk about it. But before you do, make sure you subscribe to Fashion is Art, like the video, and comment down below your thoughts on the Yeezy Gap situation. So without further ado, let's get into this. So over the last few days, Ye has been having like yet another one of his rants where he's been going off on his ex-wife, Kim, ex-boyfriend, who it's rumored she's getting back together with, Pete Davidson, Kid Cudi, Adidas, and finally the Gap. Now we're going to focus on the Gap here because we don't really talk about the pop culture on this channel. We stick to more of what's going on in the fashion industry. And what is going on right now is the impending breakup of Yeezy and Gap. Now, what kind of got us to this point? Well, let me explain and give you a little rundown and a recap of what's been going on over the past few days. So Wednesday, Kanye went on Instagram, as he does, and he aired out his dirty laundry on Gap. He had a few videos basically just proclaiming that they've been having meetings without him. They've been trying to shift control away from him, and he even said in an Instagram post that has been since deleted, I believe. I'm not sure. He deletes a lot of his stuff, so you kind of just have to screenshot it regardless. Anyway, he says, here is the through line. Gap having meetings about me without me. Adidas releasing old shoes and coloring my schools like I'm dead. Me not having a say on where my children go to school. Call me whatever names you want. If you don't understand why I will not back down on my businesses, my brands, and my children, then you're the ones who are crazy. West said, while he loves the Gap, he thought it was insane when the brand allegedly canceled pre-orders of his blue round jackets and never did a fashion show. West then proceeded to post a note asking for anyone who has 10 years retail experience and is ready to change the world to come forward and join him in business, adding that in his deals with both Gap and Adidas, it's contractually stated that they'd open brick and mortar stores, which neither company has done, even though I saved both of those companies at the same time. Now, earlier this week, they had that issue with the Yeezy Gap Balenciaga drop where there was just a conflict of control, conflict of targeting, and obviously Yeezy Day was something that Kanye felt went against his wishes as well. So this has been brewing for a bit, and you can kind of hear about that in my Yeezy Day video where I kind of brush on those issues that Yeezy's been having with Gap. But when it comes to this, it's really inevitable, guys. Like, this man is going to break away from Gap, and he's just going to end up doing his own thing. This is inevitable. It's classic Ye, and it's just how he is. He's more than likely, I could see him start doing his own brand, start breaking into that sort of field to become more independent, because this is something that's been going on for months. And we kind of seen the handwriting on the wall in the past with Nike. Now, what a lot of y'all are kind of missing the point on is, why is Adidas, not Adidas, but Gap kicking him off like these meetings? Like, why is he not in those meetings? I think they're getting sick of Ye. I think they, even though they're obviously making money with him, which I think is the whole point, I think the spontaneity is just like too much for them, and they just can't handle that. My thought is, don't you know that when you first talk to Kanye, don't you know that when you first sign on to work with him, what you will expect? It's different if he, if he's out of character, but this is not out of character. This is something he does a lot. This is why I said yet another classic Ye rant, because this isn't the first time he's gone on Instagram or Twitter to air out whatever he wanted to. So you got to be aware of that when you're working with people. What's their background like? What has their past experiences been like? So you can make a conscious decision and move forward with it from there. Because Kanye, though he is a genius, he has great ideas, and what he's done has been able to save these companies. I can tell you for sure it's probably pretty hard to work with them. There's many artists who've had, issues with just being able to keep up with him on the lower level. You have to be on a certain wavelength to keep up with Ye. You have to be up at a certain time to be able to work with him. You have to be able to listen to all his ideas, and you have to be able to keep your word as well, which, despite maybe a financial issue, opening up brick and mortar stores takes a lot. You have to get permits. You have to get employees. You have to get a lot of legal work done behind the scenes to allow you to sell out of that store. So a lot goes into these brick and mortar stores, which for whatever reason, haven't opened up yet. Though he has been planning to open up in Atlanta in another previously deleted post. He's been having conversations with people who want to head up the stores, want to be involved with the stores. Even 504 came in and gave his support to run a show out of Brooklyn. So you see, there are people who do support the vision and are ones who would be willing to step lock and toe with Kanye West, which is great. But realistically, logically, a lot of these businesses haven't opened these brick and mortar stores knowing that for them, it's not like part of their timetable, maybe for whatever reason or not. Now, is that right or wrong? I don't know. I'm not behind the books where Gap is like setting up their financial futures. So you can't really determine if it's a good decision or a bad one. But I will tell you that Gap has not been as relevant as it has been since Ye joined. Before this, no one was talking about Gap. I wasn't talking about Gap. You weren't thinking about Gap. You weren't going to thegap.com to pre-order clothes before. In fact, it wasn't even in your search history. So with that, you kind of have to take it for what it is. You gotta have to recognize that, okay, this is Kanye's thing for a reason. He's been able to make it work for a reason. So you either have to work with him or let it go, because it's only going to make you look bad. Right now, Gap's made to look like the enemy right now, which that's just kind of how it goes. Kanye has a mass amount of supporters that are going to ride and die with him, whereas Gap got this sudden influx thanks to him. Whereas they kind of have to look at it from that perspective and think, okay, is this worth it for me in the long term to continue on with this? Because remember, that's a 10-year deal. They have to know what they're getting into. So that's pretty much it for this video. I really feel that, again, Kanye is going to be dipping at some point. It's just going to happen. I feel that it's going to be difficult for him to get the stores in where he wants to, place where they want to, unless Gap folds, which I don't see them doing at this time. It's going to be unlikely. But, we'll see what happens in their future. But that's all for this video. Make sure you subscribe to Fashion is Art and give me your thoughts. Is Kanye going to stay? Is Kanye going to go? Is there some compromise that they could actually reach? Let me know about that. And we'll talk to you the next time. I'm out.